Hi guys, so what I wanted to do was show you on my whiteboard at home the sliding filament theory of muscle contraction. Now, there's a few things just to get your head around first. So the first thing is what a sarcomere is. So remember, a sarcomere is a functional unit of a muscle fibre or a myofibril. Now, remember, the sarcomere itself is made of thin actin filaments and thick myosin filaments. Now, that is one way of representing that, but this here is another way of representing this. Now, we draw them like lines up here, but you can see there, this is a little bit more detailed because we need to zoom in to show you what's actually happening to the molecules and how they interact to show you about the sliding filament theory. Now, if you want to draw this down while I'm going through it, do. And if you want to pause the video at any point, do as well. But I just wanted to go through it with you so I can rub things out, I can show things moving and changing because that's what actually will happen. Now, you'll need a few colours. I've got 5 colours. I just need to add one more, which is my orange, to go through the process. And then what I'll do after the video, I'll then go through it in terms of mark scheme points. I'll refer to it during this process with mark scheme points, but then I'll just show you pure mark scheme points and then you can see them, okay? So, if we have a look, we already are aware that we've got the actin thin filament, and that's at the top on this diagram. Now remember, although it's on the top of my diagram, actin filaments are all the way along a myofibril, so this is just a small snapshot of one, okay? And this is the myosin filament underneath, and that's the myosin head on the filament, okay? And these two are the proteins we've already come across before. Now, there is a third protein involved in the sliding filament theory, and that is a protein called tropomyosin, which is wrapped around the actin molecule. Now, I'm going to go through the process in a moment, but we also need calcium ions, because they are really important, Ca2+, hopefully you can see that, for this process. Now then, let's start off. When a muscle is relaxed, tropomyosin will block the myosin binding site, which is this area, on the actin filament, preventing the myosin binding. So, in a relaxed muscle, tropomyosin blocks the myosin binding site on the actin filament, preventing myosin from binding. That's the first point. What then happens is, when the depolarization arrives at the neuromuscular junction, that causes calcium ions to be released from the sarcoplasmic reticulum. The calcium ions bind to the tropomyosin. Now, the thing with proteins is, if things bind to proteins, proteins change shape. And what then happens is, the tropomyosin changes shape, and then it uncovers the myosin binding site on the actin. So the tropomyosin changes shape because calcium ions have bound to it, and it uncovers the myosin binding site on the actin. So that's the calcium ion there, and it's now showing you the tropomyosin has changed shape, revealing that binding site. Now, you've got to remember, the thing with muscles and contraction is, it's always a completed cycle. It keeps going, okay? So, you can see attached to the myosin head, there is an ADP and a PI attached to that head from the previous cycle, okay? Now, for muscles to contract, we need 2 ATP molecules, okay? Now, what then happens is, because the myosin binding site on the actin filament has been revealed, the myosin head will then bind to the myosin binding site on the actin. So what now happens is, the myosin head will bind to the myosin binding site on the actin. So that'll move up to there like that, okay? I'm just going to rub this one away. We've still got the ADP and the PI attached to the head at this point. And what that then forms, and this is a really important point in your mark scheme, is an actinomyosin cross bridge. So this temporary structure where the myosin head is physically joined to the actin filament, it's called an actino-myosin cross bridge. It's only a very temporary structure, but that's its actual name, actinomyosin cross bridge. What then happens now is the myosin head physically bends, and that is called the power stroke. So the myosin head now will bend, like on the actin, and when it bends, it physically moves the actin along. It slides the actin filament along, hence why it's called the sliding filament theory. What then happens then is when the myosin head bends, because the protein has changed shape, it will then release the ADP and the inorganic phosphate from that molecule. So the ADP and PI are then released. The next step is a new ATP molecule then binds to the myosin head. Because that then binds to the myosin head, that then causes the myosin head to change shape, and then it then is released from the actin filament, and it returns back to its original position. With the ADP and the inorganic phosphate still attached, ready for the next cycle. And that is called the recovery stroke. So the power stroke is when the myosin head bends on the actin filament, and the recovery stroke is when it returns back to its original position, still with ADP and PI attached, and that energy there attached, ready for the reattachment later on. So if you need to pause this video at any point, do, and I'll go through the actual mark